Peace, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Out the Loop, our hilarious podcast, our informative podcast, or whatever you want to call it, podcast. Today, we're going to introduce ourselves, tell you a little more about who we are, what we do, how we do it, loops we've been in, some of the loops we've encountered in our in job situations, life situations, and then we're going to just flow and see what happens. And we thank you for all of the wonderful feedback we've gotten so far with just one episode that wasn't even supposed to be uploaded. That's technically not professionally done, but we are needed and we are here. And so we continue.
Absolutely. Peace, everybody. Again, as the lovely Gillian stated, this is our episode 2, because we counted the first one. Go watch it. It's amazing. Anyways, I am Jamesia Lynn. To my right, that is Reshonah Bennett, the beautiful and lovely Reshonah Bennett. To my left, we have Gillian Thompson, the amazing Gillian Thompson. And yeah, we're going to get started with episode 2. Today, I think it's going to be more about who we are and also the industries that we play in, right? The industries where we heal and talk to people about different things like coaching and finance and love and relationships and whatnot. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and then we'll get into the other ladies. Again, my name is Jamesia Lynn. I am a teacher by nature. My natal chart says that 100% I am a teacher and I am here to hold people accountable. I'm not here to coddle and pat you on your back and tell you, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm here to give you work and I'm here to hold you accountable. What are you doing? What are we doing? Okay, to heal. So with that being said, one of my favorite subjects is relationships, and then love on top of that. So yeah, that's what I do. Obviously we can break that down in so many different sections and we will over time. Stick around. Okay. But yeah, so I'm going to pass the mic to Reshonah so she can tell you a little about what she does.
I got the mic. Thank you for throwing me the mic. Thank you to my lovely fire sun sister, Jamesia. And it's a pleasure being with my amazing sister here, Gillian, which you'll hear soon, shortly about her as well. Oh man, this has been an amazing journey. And through that journey, finally understanding your soul purpose and not realizing you actually been living it, but for it to be redefined with clarity is a peace of mind. Not easy, but a peace of mind while you're on that mission. So I'm Reshonah Bennett, and I realized also through my natal chart too as well, I am here to heal the souls of people who have drama for them not understanding or understanding their value. And a lot of that also comes from my expertise in finances. I think I'm considered the goddess of finance because of my Taurian rising. And so I sit in that. And sitting in that allows me to also expand and realizing that so many people walking on this earthly plane in other realms don't really understand the traumas that lie within. And that also connects to value, devaluating yourself. So me being a financial counselor, obviously I'm still sitting in my mission. Me being a financial soul healer allows me to go deeper into the traumas and the wounds to understand well, where is this missing piece coming from that you don't understand your value? And so what I help you do go through the process is to understand the traumas that lie deep within on the soul level. And I kind of bring that out of you so you can eventually understand your value and focus on the value so you can understand the abundance that you are and also turn that into finance, monetary gains. You know, I'm also a co-founder of BK Crypto, which again connects to the soul level of the evolution of money, the evolution of systems, the evolution of technology. And I've been in crypto since 2017. And it's a big part of people understanding the basics of evolution because we all evolve. So I like to connect the dots. I'm a strategist. And so when you talk to me, I kind of go into deeper layers with questions so I can kind of really understand who you are, how you're made of, and create a strategy so you can live your abundant life. So that's me, Reshonah Bennett, and I'm excited to be here. So I'm passing the mic to my soul sister, Gillian.
Yes, so thank you, Reshonah. I am Gillian Thomas, and my soul's mission, which I uncovered through exploration of my natal chart, is that I'm here to counsel, bottom line, I'm here to counsel spiritual beings on how to release survival mode, heal from their traumas, and thrive. I'm basically a heart healer based on my chart, and fought that for a while because I have cancer in an interesting place, Cancer rising, which makes me sort of a mama energy. And that's something that was difficult for me to own or even recognize because I don't consider myself a mama. I'm the only one on this here right now who has no biological children of my own. I do have nieces and nephews who I help mother, but I've never birthed a baby. So out of my soul's mission has been a slow build like everybody else's, like Reshonah spoke about before over the years. I am a holistic health coach. I am an energy healer. I am a brain health coach through doing Dr. Daniel Amen's program. And I'm also an author and who wrote Thriving Through Chaos, a manual, and didn't even realize that in starting to write this book, that it was in total, it was complementary to what I was to find out is my soul's mission. So, and Thriving Through Chaos came from my experiences in corporate America as an attorney, which is something that I also am. Being in spaces where that placed me in survival mode and having to figure out how to release resistance to that so that it's not something that's affecting me physically, mentally, and spiritually anymore. And so I had to leave that for a couple of years, cold turkey, and work on myself. Had to return because I still had things to learn in that space in order to do my spiritual work properly, and went in with severe PTSD. But because I did the work on myself, I was able to overcome that and release the resistance to that. So my purpose here is to help my peers who are in corporate America, at least right now, that's what it is, and other spiritual beings who are in environments in 3D that they feel uncomfortable in and are feel restricted by and aren't thriving in, helping them to learn or remember how to thrive and be in those environments while they still have to be there and while doing the work to remember who they truly are. So that was more than a mouthful. But so yeah, let's talk some more about that. Anything come up for anybody while I was making my spiel?
So first of all, that was so beautiful. Like both of y'all, that was just so beautiful. Like the way y'all went into depth. See me, like I'm a life path 5, and honey, I be everywhere in my head, in real life, in spiritual land. Like it don't matter where it is. So y'all will get to know me in bits and pieces. Okay, just flow with me, honey, because I be out of this world in real life, literally. Okay,
trust me, she is.
So
in a good way.
In a good way, and
absolutely.
It's the connection that we have, right? As we go deeper into understanding ourselves, it helps us to get out the loop. I think before I actually joined Professor Melody's classes, which is how we all connected, I knew I had to go deeper, but I knew I had to find the right teacher to help me to ascend on that spiritual journey, right? And so again, I followed her for 2 years until eventually something hit within my crash course of journey last year. I was on fire. I was a total number 5 because I'm a 7 and a 5. So I get your energy. And then that led me into Professor's class this year for SAU Inner Circle 2. And why that's powerful, because when you finally can now sit your ass down, right? And to say, I'm here to do the work, but help me, spirit team, to connect me to the right teachers to guide me so I can understand myself, as Gillian said, doing the work so I can help others. So now I can't run anymore because I'm really clear on what's my soul purpose. And through that, I can say through the looping for me spiritually is being accepting my soul mission, accepting that it's, to me, is so big, I get anxiety at times. And I think sometimes I feel depression and I fight through it because I know the only way for me to ascend is to deal with my spirituality. That's the only thing that actually foremost makes me truly happy. But at the same time, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I'm thankful for the connections with you sisters that I have on speed dial, that we can connect when we're going through those transitions and transformations and those solid times where you're like, I need to speak to someone because I'm really in my head. I'm not even grounded right now because I'm at work, but I'm all the way up here. And this matrix seems crazy to me, but I have to find the balance.
410%.
So out the loop, out the loop, out the
loop. Get out of there, okay? Julie?
So Reshonah said something interesting about connecting with your spirit team to help with this de-looping. And that's what I found has been helpful for me in 3D systems. Understanding that everything comes back to meditation and recognizing that you have help, and that the help comes from within you, and you can always rely on that even when you can't rely on the people outside of you, which is basically what spirituality is about, learning or remembering how to come from within. So well, I don't know if the two of you do this, but when I find myself in spaces where I'm dealing with work situations that all of a sudden have me hot, I'm literally hot
Mhm.
because I'm like, why is this happening? Um, the thing that calms me down is to remember that I have a team that I can say, a supernatural team that I can say, y'all need to help me with this.
Mhm.
And that's one of the foremost ways that I have been able to help myself break out of loops and the loops that the system we're in creates, and also to ground myself in a high vibrational way.
Mhm.
Is that the same for you and for you, Jamesia and Reshonah?
Yeah, I think that's really good because that's a relationship, right? And so for me, you hit it right on the head because that is definitely important. Like the relationship with self, myself, my highest self, right? And then my team, my spirit team, right? The ones that we cannot see physically with our physical eyes. And just because relationships are so important to me, and I realize that's why I'm here on this realm for relationships, particularly dealing with the heart chakra and things like depression, everything that deals with the heart chakra and things like that.
Yes. Mhm.
When you can come back to yourself, like I feel like that is so key. A lot of us don't know who we are in the first place to have
Mhm.
somebody to come back to. And so
100%.
so what you're saying about relationships and just being in a chaotic space and then having someone that you can come home to, basically, even if it's not someone outside, you know, like your friends or whatever. If someone isn't available for you, you still have somebody to come home to. So that hit, because that's what I don't want to say believe, like that's what I
It's
know to
what you
do.
know. Yeah.
That's what I
What you
know to do. And that's how I teach others. That's what I teach others. So yeah, like I definitely feel that in the midst of everything going on, at any time you can sit down with yourself and be like, hey, like what are we doing here? Or what is the purpose of this? Or okay, this just happened to me. I know you lying. Like where'd that come from? Like what lesson? You know what I'm saying? What lesson is there for me to learn? And truthfully, that relationship with yourself is the quickest way to get you out the loop. Like, if we're being
Yes.
honest, it's the quickest
Yes.
way for
Yes.
me. You know?
Yes. You both hit it on the nose. Exactly. And I think the biggest thing, what people also need to learn is how do you get back to yourself, right? The challenge is when you're in that chaotic spot, the space, when you're feeling anxiety, when you're feeling depression, and you don't have someone to call on to, right? To connect with you. How do you teach someone in short, not long, to get back to themselves? And what I've learned is, and I was told this, but I get it, is I just left my assignment. That also, that word helped me to get out the loop from work to assignment, because work energetically sends a, right? Then assignment, because that assignment is like, okay, so I'm here for whatever purpose temporarily until my assignment is over. So that's one help
so good.
for me to remember. The second thing for me to get back to myself out the loop is breathing, breathing in, breathing out, taking a moment. And as I get home from my assignment, I go in my room and I close the door. I go into meditative mode. I give thanks and gratitude that I made it through this day, and I touch who I was supposed to touch. I do my rapé. And again, I start talking to my team. Team, we had a good day. This is what I require. Just confirm to me that I'm in my right space and time as well. And then I just keep giving thanks and gratitude to get back to me. So again, which we all connect, this heart chakra, this heart space, to get all your energy back to you and feel fulfilled, right?
Absolutely.
That you are the end and the beginning, the self-love, the self-conversation, the self-talk. That helps a lot to get back to self.
Absolutely. And how you love yourself is how everybody else gonna come. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's always self. Like it's like no matter what you do, like it's self. It's so crazy how that happened. Now I wanna pause real quick and go just a tad bit off subject. You keep saying this word and it's really touching my heart. And the word is rape. Can you tell our millions of viewers what rape is? Because they may not know.
Right. So it's an indigenous snuff. It could be rape or hape. And it's indigenous from the Amazon. It's a natural herb that's fused with different natural medicines, herbs, right? That's kind of like tobacco-ish, and you kind of snuff it. And that snuffing is where you insert it in your nose. It's a little, I can show it to you next time, but you snuff it maybe 3 seconds, you kind of meditate on it, you kind of ask for guidance depending on the particular happy that you're actually taking. I actually took Jaguar, and Jaguar is kind of strong, but Jaguar also helps to ground you. So it's something that could be ceremonial. It could be something that you can take for self to get you back into your spirit space and in alignment, to help you to ascend. It's not to be abused. When you do, it's not recreational. It's literally when you're doing it, I'm actually giving thanks to all the elements. I'm actually giving thanks at the same time to the Most High and to the universe, to the galaxies. And then I kind of go into my spiritual mode of gratitude and thanks. And I kind of just helps me to ground myself. And also it's really good too. It helps to release the mucus out of your nose and sometimes also out of your chest, because you can also ask it to guide you in some of the areas that need to be released and cleansed and purged.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure our millions of viewers wouldn't have known that. So I appreciate you for breaking that down for us. I just want to say, y'all, like there are so many different tools that us as spiritual beings have, whether it's the moon, whether it's the sun, whether it's rape, whether it's shrooms, like whatever it may be, it's never to abuse, but we need those tools because we have to know that we are like out of this world, and some things are here to ground us and to help us to connect to our original homes, right? And so that's what those tools are used for. So yeah, y'all can start commenting now, because I know it's a million of y'all watching, right? Y'all can start commenting, asking us different questions and stuff about rape, and they can hook you up with it. You know what I'm saying? See, we the plugs, okay? Anyway,
And
thanks for asking.
I want to
Absolutely.
add about things like rape and mushrooms, that everything is not for everybody. So before you get in touch with any natural medicines, herbal medicines like rape and mushrooms, meditate on it. Ask your team if first you have to know yourself, so that you can know what medicine is for you. And also a disclaimer, because we're not telling anybody to take this or take that. We're just talking about our experiences, and know that Reshonah worked with a well-established shaman before she embarked on her herbal medicine journey.
Absolutely.
So before you do yours, if you've been thinking, I know a lot of people think about doing mushrooms. A lot of people already do mushrooms, but do it in a way that's just basic. But in order to really do it properly, in a way that helps us with our ascension, we should be treating it as the sacred medicine it is, and giving these medicines the respect that they deserve, and connecting with spirit-led, well-trained people who are not going to take advantage of you in experiencing these medicines. And that's one of the reasons why we need to know ourselves before we go into these journeys. Unless you yourself are discovering that you're a shaman and you're remembering how to do and use these different medicines. So
Absolutely.
we just wanted to give that disclaimer that we're not saying to take anything. Just if something resonates with you, do your research first, and break out of the loop of just doing something for doing its sake, because there's a reason for it. And when we abuse these herbal medicines, we don't get back good results, high
Yeah, they
vibrational results.
fight back.
Yeah. So be careful, please.
Agreed. Well said.
Well said. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, the herbs fight back. They are not punks, okay? Don't abuse
I
them.
had experience with Blue Lotus recently, and Blue
Yeah.
Lotus is the truth.
Yeah. Oh, that Blue Lotus. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Clean that heart
Bringing
chakra.
it back. I guess we're
Yep.
gonna bring it back. All right. So okay, bringing it back, y'all. Earlier today I was telling my friend about our podcast, right? And I was like, you know, he was just asking me what I was doing. I'm about to go get something to eat, get ready for this podcast. He asked me what the podcast was about, and I told him just like it's basically about us stopping cycles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically getting out the loop, spiraling up. It's called Out the Loop, and it literally means what it says. It's basically about stopping the track. Like, when are we going to stop doing things because our great grandmothers said, you know, Monday, right? I know, it's my hand. Monday through Sunday, right? You got to go to church and do this. Now, I am not judging anybody. I love you all, right? Like, I don't care that people go to church. I don't care what you claim to be. I know what I am, and that's what it is, right? Like, but he sent me this song, and I was listening to it, and it was a Christian song. But you know, the person who I am and what I do, I'm able, and my first sign is Pisces. So I dibble and dabble in everything. Like, all type of people come to me. It doesn't matter. Like, they can be atheists, for goodness sake, like Christians, it don't matter, right? Spiritual people. And so I'm able to take in that type of energy and decipher it and say, okay, this is what this is. You know what I'm saying? So he sent me this song, and I was just listening to it. And in the first like 15 seconds, he said, I fear. And I'm like, like, that's it. That's the loop. Like, fear
Oh my
is
God, yes.
so, like,
Oh
it's
my
just so
God.
funny because he was trying to prove a point, which was cool. Like, I absolutely get what he's saying. Because he was saying like cycles is basically the devil. And for me, I'm like, we all kind of, you know, us as spiritual beings, we embrace that energy. We realize that that's energy, and that we all tap into that, right? Because it's polarities, evil, good. They're the same. They're like partners in crime. You can't have one without the other. It's like a battery. You can't have the positive side without the negative side. You know what I'm saying?
Balance.
And so, but that song, it was just so funny because, first of all, the word I fear was like in the first 15 seconds. And that's my point. I feel like he was proving my point. But then on the other hand, it's like, it was all so third party. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was blaming it on somebody. So my question to y'all is like, when you get those type of in y'all's different industries, like when you get those type of people coming to y'all and they just need somebody to blame, right? It's always the devil. Or if somebody died, God, why did you do that to me? You know, it's never us. We're never holding ourselves accountable. And so in y'all's industries, how do y'all work with that, or how do y'all go about handling situations like that? Either one can start.
Good question. Wow, being in the financial industry, financial counselor, crypto coach, you have to first discuss with the client the issue, right? The situation. If they're present, you can give them a spiritual comment, and because you know that they're ready to listen. And that's kind of like you being a coach or counselor, really to have that ear to say, and also asking team, what do I say to this person so I can get them to move? I'm really pretty much raw. I'm not your average coach or counselor. I like to get to the root. So when they are talking about, well, I'm having issues with my financing, you know, I've been going through this with my husband, or I've been going through this with, you know, my child's father, or with my family, you know, we're not used to dealing with money. And you hear that a lot. And I say, well, what is your goal and your end game? Because I understand maybe that appears to be the problem, the issue, right? Because you have to listen, because sometimes that is the trauma, right? That's the trauma. But then what is that your end game, so that I can help you strategically get out of that loop? And a lot of it is fear of moving to the next level, because a lot of times clients actually do know what to do. They're stuck. And they're in fear that they can actually reach a next level financially that can change your life and others. And so what I do is I break things down in physical. I write it down, because a lot of people learn visually. And so I connect the dots with visual learning and an example of either where you want to be or what you need to break. And I get a lot of aha moments. And I tell them that I'm your cheerleader, I'm your supporter, but I can't do this without you wanting to do the same thing. And so depending how serious they are, and I think a lot of people actually just want support and a cheerleader. So, right? So when I give them a strategy, and a lot of people, simple, basic things, they don't budget. So when you're sitting down and you're planning, listening to what it is that is missing or can help them, a lot of it first starts with the looping of budgeting. Most people don't write things down. They don't write their expenses down. So that's the
Especially
loop.
now we in our phones.
They're on their phones, even seeing a picture. They're like, I want more, but I can't afford this. Well, why can't you afford this? What was your monthly expenses? I don't know. I have all this money coming in my account. I have $100,000 in my account, and it's gone. Well, why is it gone? What are you doing with it? Are you making investments? And so once I get a deeper understanding of what is their challenge, what is their weakness too, because a lot of times everyone is not good with money, and that's not a bad thing. You might need some support. And so when I get there and and I usually finish my clients, and I email them their action plan, their budget, literally, I would say out of 10 clients, I might get 6 that email me back and be like, thank you so much, Reshonah. I just really needed some support, and I just need someone to cheerlead me on. I know what I need to do. And they start doing it. And I get an email maybe 3 weeks later and say, you know what? I accomplished the first two lists on my action plan. Okay, what's next? They really just need support, a support system to get out that loop and that fear level.
Gotcha. That's peace. That's what's up.
And I tell them, I'm here to support you on your mission to reach your financial goal. We're doing this together. And I swear to you, even when you have clients sitting next to you and they're crying because they're in debt from student loans, and they can't figure out, how do I get out of this student loan debt matrix system to thriving, because they want me to pay a certain amount of money that takes the majority of my weekly check. They can't see how to get out that systematic loop of debt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the understanding that comes with it all. I'm knowing. Yeah.
So for me, because I see a lot of cognitive dissonance because of the ingrained affirmations that are thrown at us from birth. So there's this subconscious thing, like for instance, if we're talking about money, money is the root of all evil, but that's not what it actually says in the Bible. So for me, a lot of times what has to happen, I take it as a holistic coach. I take it from I give information, and I give like Reshonah, I give feedback in writing so that people can read it and take it in. And based on, well, as a coach or counselor, I don't, I do most of the listening and I make recommendations. And some of the concepts, like you create your reality for a beginner in this, not even spiritual realm, but on working your way
Yes,
out of the matrix. That's
exactly.
a really difficult thing to
Yes.
take in, that you create your reality. Everybody else around us, for the purposes of your specific life, everybody else are technically non-factors. They're there to do certain things, like we were taught, either to that help you heal, even the ones that you're healing. So you're healing them and they help you to heal. They are triggering you and they're helping you to heal. They're supporting you and they're helping you to heal. So the ones that are triggering you, when people come to me with things like that, it's about, Reshonah spoke before about the lesson. And getting the lesson is how you break out the loop. So in terms of the mental and spiritual stuff, the physical healing is kind of a little easier,
Yeah.
because I don't always necessarily have to explain about chakras being affected and so on in order to help somebody have a better diet, because they don't necessarily understand from, initially what all of, even if, because of the cognitive dissonance, even if you explain it as layman's terms as you can, energy is important, and energy can create disease in your body. So you need to eat a certain way in order to, the way you eat, the way you think, the way you are, all connect with helping us to be and exist in, in a way that we thrive. So for me, it boils down to cognitive dissonance. And so what has been helpful is going through the things that I have gone through, because I had a lot of cognitive dissonance, still have some, still a work in progress. But because of what I have gone through, what I am going through, I am able to help my clients. So even if they don't necessarily, I try to break things down and not go in like, you have to do this, you have to do that, but I tend to stress the meditation part and the aspect of it that to you have to know yourself and you have to listen to yourself and not be dealing with people, places, and things outside of yourself in order to thrive in this, matrix, and rise out of the loop of the matrix. So bottom line is, it depends on what people come to me for, and I always put, I always put in there this thing about working on yourself and understanding that none of it is outside of you. It's all on you. So in order to heal yourself in whatever way you're coming to me to heal, you have to work on yourself, which is what Thriving Through Chaos is about. You have to take responsibility for yourself in order to change your experience in this life and become the person that you are supposed to be in these times, because
Yeah.
it's crunch time.
Hmm.
Can you just
Oh,
explain?
you said something there, honey.
Can you just explain the definition of cognizant dissonance?
Cognitive dissonance.
Yes,
So
cognitive dissonance.
cognitive dissonance is when it's basically, it's mostly a I would say a throat chakra thing. So somebody can be telling you that you're stepping on my toe and you're really hurting me. But for some reason you don't get it, that that's what's happening. So it keeps happening over and over again, or it continues to happen until one day something, maybe the way that they say it, or the way that they react to it, helps you to realize that, oh shoot, I've been doing this and not understanding that this is what I've been doing. And I've been causing conflict or whatever because of that. And if we are in a space where we know ourselves, we can own up to it, make amends, move on. But some people just choose to continue to be whatever they're being.
Mhm.
So that basically is cognitive dissonance. Another way of looking at it is, say you're in a relationship with like a with a significant other, and they're saying to you that and they have a way, they do something that really that you don't like maybe,
Irks you.
yeah, like maybe they're a bottom smacker and you don't like that.
Right.
That's not
Right.
something you like, and you keep saying over and over again, I don't like it when you do it, when you do that. It's not
Right.
special to me, and they just keep doing it. They don't understand, because as far as they're concerned, that's what you do in to your significant other in that type of relationship,
Mhm.
until one day maybe you get really angry, and or they're in conversation with another woman, and the woman explains it in a way that they're
Mhm.
like, oh, right?
Mhm.
So that's another example
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
another way of
Good.
explaining cognitive dissonance.
Perfect. And
That's so
So,
good.
Jamesia,
Yeah.
for you, share with us, how you experienced that in your field, in your industry.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know how Jillian was saying, like, she just like went back to like some old tales, right? Like conditioning, like money is the root of all evil. Simple stuff like that. I feel like is how I deal with that in my experiences, because it's always like, well, this is how my relationships was, when I was little, or this is how I seen my grandparents, or this is how I
Yeah.
seen, you know what I'm saying? Or, I didn't have this relationship with my mama, so so my son do this, or whatever the case. So I feel like
Right.
the conditioning part of that is where I deal with the loop of just being stuck. And then it goes back to like, well, what do you want? Because yes, we were taught this and we were taught that, but did it resonate with you? I feel like a
Right.
lot of us are not doing things because it's what we want to do. It's just like, oh, well, that's what I was taught, so then that's what we gonna do, right? But if you don't feel that, right, then why? It got to be another answer. It has to be. And so for me, dealing with relationships, dealing with the heart chakra is just like, your heart is your heart. You're gonna have to be true to it, because you're gonna forever feel what you feeling if you basing what you want to do and how you want to construct your life and your relationships on what you did in the past or what your grandmother did with your papa and this, that, and the third. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, like those conditionings, man, we got to get out of that. Like, I just want for us to just stop it already. Cause guys, it don't work. Like, I remember when I first gave up pork. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Like the thing I heard all the time, your ancestors ate pork. Okay, like, say what you're saying. So what? Like, what are you talking about? You're not talking about nothing right now. What does that have to do with anything? That's your problem. Like, stop trying to do. We are in different times. Like, the meat ain't even the same. The pigs was probably organic or some shit back then. Like, chill. Everybody relax. We are not in the same time. You need to do what you feel that you need to do and stop basing it off of what your papa did. It's not the same. Like, when are y'all gonna get that? When are y'all gonna understand that? You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong with doing what you feel is right. Like, I get the whole black sheep thing and all of that, but I'm gonna be real. We got to get out of that too. Cause we in 2023. Be yourself. Like, it don't matter what people saying about you. So F them people. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do to me? You going to whoop me or something? Like, come on, guys. We got to stop making excuses. Like, and that's what I find that so much. And I'm just like, that's why I'm so grateful. Thank you to me for coming in as I came in this Life Path 5, this Leo 5 energy,
at this time.
all of that. Because I just want to hold people accountable. I don't even want to coddle you. Like, it's time to get it up. Like, it's time. What are we doing today? You know? So yeah, I think that's
so. Both of you guys, that was so beautiful, and I had a little spiritual moment. I don't know if you peeped it.
I seen some.
Yeah, and so what I heard was that we are so afraid of getting out the loop of the patterns and conditions of our family and generation to generation in the past. And we are afraid to get out the loop to be creators of our own path, right? Understanding that as we chose our parents, this is what I know, that was a chosen time for us to come into this space as a vessel. They carry us as a vessel so that we can now continue on whatever path and purpose we were to extend to the next level. And so that out of the loop is kind of challenging because a lot of us don't realize that is what it is because of the matrix, because of old systems and old patterns within a family, religious beliefs, conditions within a family. We feel that is absolute. And so we're literally trying to get out the loop to start anew. And that is the challenge.
Yeah.
That you are a creator to create. No one's saying to erase, we're saying to remember and extend and create anew.
Absolutely. Only to acknowledge. I feel like we want to acknowledge, yes, like
100%.
they did this, they did that, acknowledge that, but it's more, it's always more. Even when they came about and did what they did, it was always more. It's more, right?
Extension.
Yeah.
An extension to expand a legacy. And a legacy doesn't mean, okay, I gotta do the old traditions. Because we are in cycles in new realms. And so that is to propel us to the next level. But we will never expand to the next level if we are suppressing ourselves, staying in the conditioning that we are in and staying in the loop.
Yeah.
And so until we break those patterns and conditions of traditional confinement, then we will never spiral up completely. Because when you do hear money grows on trees, right? When you do hear, well, my family has issues with financing, but that's not you per se, that's the family track. That's not your track. So you're holding on to that particular condition that you heard about in your family's conversation or with grandma or grandpa, or auntie. Because now for you to hear it and be like, that's not me.
Right. It's
that's not my
it's
journey.
a family trap. Track is the right word, but it's a trap. The looping is a systematic thing, which is why we have to know ourselves so we can recognize where and when these loops are showing up, so that we can course correct in the moment. And the more you do the work, the easier it becomes to recognize when we're looping. And I don't know, but the more enjoyable the looping becomes, because
Yeah.
it's like a game. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, oh my gosh, this is why this is happening. That's
So,
what I've been doing. And it's like almost instantaneously something shifts, and the next thing you know, you've kind of jumped the timeline, is how they describe it. So you're finally out of that space that you were in when you were looping in that particular aspect, and you find yourself a little closer to the top, and until the next loop shows up, and then you eliminate that, and it's like a daily game. Okay, what's
absolutely.
going on? Why is it going on?
Okay, because listen, y'all, these loops, honey, they keep on looping. Okay,
Yeah.
the goal is not to end the loops. Like once you end the loops, it's time for you to ascend. That's the
Right.
goal, is to recognize the loop. Okay, and you know the little, like in a ring, you know that little part that they got where you can kind of open it up, right? You want to
Right,
open
right.
that loop and get out of there. Okay, and
That's
then
the real
get ready for
glass
your next
ceiling.
loop.
That's the
Absolutely.
real
Yes.
glass ceiling to break through, not
Yeah.
the corporate glass ceiling.
Mhm.
That's fine for some people, but
Yeah.
for the rest of us, the real glass ceiling is breaking out of those loops. And to what you were saying, Reshonah, about also about that track and remembering, it's like that. I use the man who fell from the sky kind of as a metaphor. Well, actually, I think that book and that show is a metaphor for what's going on, because he fell from the sky with a mission, and then he fell into the matrix, and that, got caught up in money and building reputations and so on and so forth. And the next thing you know, he can't remember what he came here to do. So the purpose of breaking out loops for me is getting back to that knowing of who we truly are and why we are truly here. And that's why it's a systematic thing, because it's removing layers
And systems.
yeah.
And we gonna use that. And you know what I just heard out of all that? The biggest loop that we in,
Is the
reparations.
system.
If I hear any more reparations, y'all can talk about it. Listen, is that not a big loop?
That's a big loop.
I want my reparations, right?
Yeah.
We can start that
You're
next
your
time.
reparations, baby.
Listen,
Okay,
reparations next time,
okay.
y'all.
And listen, if we offend anybody, it's just because we are just so passionate. And
Yeah.
I've been in there in that whole reparations, because you hear it so in it. But the truth is, like Gillian said, you are your reparations. Create the reparation that you require that's owed to you. Don't rely on the system, because for
Don't
you to get
nobody
out
owe
the
you
loop,
nothing.
understand the system that you're in to get out the loop. Don't take it personal and make it emotional. It's systems. Break the system, create your system, and get out the loop.
Y'all, with that being said, we have been on here for a very long time. But y'all gonna enjoy it, man. Y'all gonna love it. We appreciate y'all so good. I promise you. We appreciate
So good.
y'all
I like that you say that.
So good. Thank y'all so much for chiming in down in the comments, right? And for being here with us, watching us talk about getting out of the loop, what it means to be in a loop, how it feels to be in the loop. It's not good, y'all. And all of that. So we appreciate y'all for watching. Any other words, my dear ladies, before we go?
I want to say again, I'm rusted out words, but this is a momentous time that we're actually here expressing our divine. And we hope and we pray that we touch someone to change, to get out the loop. You know, that's our mission. And for us, comment and let us know what loop you're in. Let us help each other, because we've probably been in that loop as well. You know, we are all different levels of rising. We're no better than anybody else, but together we can help each other get out the loop and spiral us.
That's
Yep,
right.
That's our purpose. So like, share, subscribe, comment. If you don't like, that's
Comment
fine
that too.
comment on that too. We're open, and
Absolutely.
we're works in progress. So we're
Yes.
breaking out loops, so we're not perfect. So
At all.
thank you for watching.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.